You wash yourself in the river Jordan, but you did not wash your heart. And at that moment, that beggar disappeared. Today, we are hearing the gospel about a paralytic. The man who was paralyzed for 38 years. And Jesus comes to Jerusalem. He's at that Bethesda pool where the paralytic used to sit every single day for 38 years, probably during his adulthood. And every single day, as he was going to lay down and sleep, and every single day as he was getting up, his only hope in salvation was that maybe one day someone will help him to get into the pool and help him to be washed. Because they believed that whoever was immersed into that pool first would get healed. The water would be steered by the angel, and whoever was the first, some of those ill people, or lame, or blind, that would get healed. That's what they believed. So now Jesus encounters this paralytic, and he asks him a simple question. Do you want to be healed? And this fellow, hoping for 38 years that someone will help him to get into the pool, says, yeah, please help me to get in. He had no idea who Jesus was. Just help me to get in, because this is my hope. That if I get in, I'll get healed. But Jesus did something totally different. He says, pick up your mat and walk. That's a totally different approach. Just pick up your mat and walk. And he got healed. You know, for Jewish community, for those people at that pool of Bethesda, that was the only hope. For the paralytic, that pool was the only hope for 38 years. The only hope of salvation, that one day he'll get immersed in the water. And there is some parallel between the pool of Bethesda and the law that the Jewish community actually believed, because the law was their salvation. We hear about that water being steered by the angel. The law was given by the angels. Then we hear about those 5 porticos, or 5 colonnades, where sick people used to sit. And the law given to Moses had 5 books. There's those parallels. But as St. Augustine says about all this, he says, the sick were part of that pool. The sick were part of that law. But they never got healed. They would keep the law, but they would never get out of it healed. So now Jesus is coming. And as soon as he tells this paralytic, pick up your mat and walk and go, it's all about that transition, about we have our hopes in our life. For 30-some years, maybe even longer, we believe in certain things. But many times we just cannot make that transition to believe in Christ, that He is salvation. Many times we just focus on whatever in our life, on our business, on our families, on money, and we just can't let go. We just can't make that transition actually to make that we go and follow Christ. So the greatest message from today's gospel is actually, don't wash yourself, but let Christ wash your heart as well. Not only yourself, but also your heart. And then what will be changed? As long as we let Christ do that, not only ourselves, so we look okay on the outside, but that salvation comes when we change our inside. When we let Christ come into our heart and and wash our hearts, and we'll be able to change our lives around. Christ is risen.